Hello, I'm Lucas. This is Strike the Sun MD, and it's time to do another short story from the 50 Great Short Stories collected by Milton Crane. This one is The Fiddler by Herman Melville. A very short piece again. It's about this poet who is upset by the criticism of his most recent publication. So he goes out to spend time with his friend Standard. I believe his name is Milestone, the poet, and Standard is his friend. And they go meet on Broadway where a famous clown is, and Milestone makes a new acquaintance, Houtboy. And they go to see a show, and they go to see the clown, and Milestone is still reeling about the criticism. He's worried about what his friend Standard thinks when they first meet up, and he can't stop thinking about it when they're at the show. But then he can't even focus on the clown, who is well known and has repute and fame. He's bothered by that because that's what he wants. That's what he strives for. He's ambitious. But then there's Houtboy, who sits there and is entertained, and he is Milestone is absolutely in shock and awe and wonder about Houtboy and his reaction to the clown, because he's still thinking about himself. And there's even a point where he starts considering basically shoving the clown out of the way so that he can perform his poem, and he wonders how people will take it. And is that the kind of admiration, approbation, I think that's the right word, that he wants? Or would it be like, I forget the exact wording, I have the story here, but, oh, right. Do you seek admiration from the admirers of a buffoon? Call to mind the saying of the Athenian who, when the people vociferously applauded in the forum, asked his friend in a whisper, what foolish thing had he said? So, anyway, that's about what I'll give away from it. Excuse me. For now, I'll say the rest at the end. I really enjoy this story. It's about ambition and impressions that you have of people when you're just sort of reading them, and how you can be wrong and stubborn and a fool and self-absorbed and self-conscious, and it's a really great story. I'll leave a link to where I read it. Standard is kind of he gives Milestone a little bit of knowledge that he needs to hear, because Milestone has an issue where he's judging Houtboy based on what he sees, and it's all good. But then that twists in his head, and he starts to speak poorly of him in a way, to try and twist the admiration that he has for Houtboy into something bad, because Houtboy seems aloof, I guess, be the best word. And he says things like, "Oh, he's no role model for me. He's nothing for me to strive for. There's no genius in him. I strive to be a genius. But if I try to be like him, there's nothing to it." Milestone, of course, tells him, actually, let me tell you something. Let's observe his genius, because Houtboy at some point leaves, and that's when Standard and Milestone start talking about Houtboy and how worth it is to admire him, even though Milestone is obsessed with him in sort of a homoerotic kind of way. Maybe not homoerotic, but like he seems to be in love with him, which is not surprising for Melville, honestly. But so he's in his mind, he's enamored completely and just sees him as like a flawless Athenian god. He sees him as somebody who can be immortal in a way. I forget where it is, but there it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Because all was so honest and natural, every expression and attitude so graceful with genuine good nature, that the marvelous juvenility of Houtboy assumed a sort of divine and immortal air, like that of some forever youthful god of Greece. So this story also has a lot to do with immortality in a way, not physically, but through what you leave behind. And I'm still reading it, so Melville has accomplished that, but that's what Milestone wants. Anyway, when Houtboy leaves, Milestone starts saying, trying to change the tone in his mind to sort of resent. Milestone said, "Oh, no, is that really what you think?" Houtboy comes back because his engagement is at another time, and they go to the room, and Milestone asks him to play his fiddle, and then he does, and he's playing, Yankee Doodle and some other standard fiddle music, but he's magnificent, and the switch goes back to where it was for Milestone, and he becomes obsessed with him again, and they start talking about Houtboy leaves, and they start talking about who he is, and apparently he's a famous actor who left behind all of his fame, and he's still a genius. He has everything he's ever wanted, but now he doesn't have the celebrity of it. Maybe because it's not worth having. But Milestone doesn't realize it. And I don't know if he actually comes to change at all, because when he finds out this information, he drops his poetry and all of his other art, and he picks up the fiddle to be the student of Houtboy, which makes me wonder, is he just trying to leech some of that genius off so he can have his own fame? I don't know if he changes, but it's a really great story. I will leave a link to it. I enjoy it. I tend to like Herman Melville. I think he's a fantastic writer. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Tomorrow I will probably get my Two Gentlemen of Verona, I forgot, video up. But as for today, The Fiddler by Herman Melville. Thank you.